Foss.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance and reads, to the Minister of Finance, why is it so important that the government rebalance the economy towards savings and exports?
The Honourable Bill English.
Speaker, New Zealand families and households expect an economy that generates new jobs, secure jobs and higher incomes. We must rebalance the economy because we won't be able to provide new jobs and higher incomes if we continue with economic growth based on too much consumption, too much government spending and too much borrowing.
Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister of Finance, what benefits would a properly growing economy bring for the government's finances?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, stronger economic growth makes an enormous difference over medium periods of time. Had the economy grown at, say, 3% since 2005, which is just above the OECD average, over the last 5 years, GDP would be now around 10% or $20 billion higher than it is, and government finances would be around $6 billion per year better off. So a few extra percentage points of growth is well worth it for everybody.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr. Speaker, if the Minister is so keen in rebalancing the economy in favour of savings and investment, why did his government cut the KiwiSaver incentives in half and completely remove the R&D investment incentives?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased the member now understands the economy does need significant rebalancing. And to respond to the particular questions, the government replaced the previous government's Fast Forward Fund, I think it was, which didn't actually exist or pay for anything. We replaced it with real money that is financing real innovation and science.
Point of order, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
Speaker, the question was a very simple one, which was to try to draw from the Minister the link between rebalancing in favour of savings and investment and the removal of two policies which did exactly that. The Minister did not address that question. He talked about a third policy, the Fast Forward Fund, which was not raised in the supplementary question at all.
And he interjected on a full.
I will allow the member to repeat his question because of uncertainty around that. The Honourable David Cunliffe, and I'll be listening very carefully to it.
To the Minister, if he is so keen on rebalancing the economy in favour of savings and investment, why did his government cut in half the KiwiSaver incentives and completely remove the R&D incentive policy?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, because we didn't think either policy was appropriate in the circumstances of a very poorly performing New Zealand economy under his management, which was then hit by the global financial crisis.
Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Supplementary to the Minister of Finance, what benefits would a properly growing economy bring for New Zealand families?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, most of the benefits of a growing economy that flow through to the government accounts also apply to families and households. Average household income today in New Zealand is $75,000 before tax. Had the economy grown at 3% since 2005, rather less than the 0.5% that it actually did grow, the average household would be about $5,000 a year better off. But instead of 3% growth, a bit above the average for the OECD, under Labor we had 0.5% growth, so we missed out on that.
Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister of Finance, what steps is the government taking to rebalance the economy?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister outranged a comprehensive suite of policy several weeks ago in this House. In particular, he outlined plans for changing the balance of taxation, and we'd be interested to know whether in the opposition's bus tour they are going to campaign to reduce GST and increase income tax.
The Honourable Sir Roger Douglas.
Mr. Speaker,
Order. I've called order.
Mr. Speaker, does the Minister agree that the government needs to help rebalance the economy through private sector job creation? And if so, is he concerned at the high rate of youth unemployment at 26.5% and especially Maori youth unemployment at 39%? And if so, what does he intend to do about it?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I agree with the member that private sector job creation is the key to a sustainable recovery. Government is overstretched, it's already borrowing too much money and can't afford to employ more people, even if it wants to improve its services. I share the member's concern about youth unemployment. The government has invested in a number of schemes to provide youth with the opportunity to stay connected to the workplace, but we will need private businesses to have the confidence to invest and employ 18 and 19-year-olds who may not have a strong track record in the job market.
Question number 3, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr Speaker, to